I will never forget the person who assaulted me and got me pregnant. Every night, he would do it to me. After he was satisfied, I was disgusted and helpless. Every time I tried to fight back but failed, I was too weak. This is my story. If you're comfortable listening to what I'm saying, then please listen from the beginning until the end. I was a bright and ambitious 17-year-old, and I was excited about my first year in college. I had dreams of becoming a doctor and was determined to make my family proud. But life had other plans. One day, I discovered I was pregnant. The news hit me like a ton of bricks. I was scared, confused, and unsure of what to do next. When the college administration found out about my pregnancy, they decided to expel me, citing outdated policies that didn't support young mothers. I felt my world crumble. I had worked so hard to get into college, and now it seemed like my dreams were slipping away. I had no one to turn to, but I told my mom about this. She was furious and scolded me loudly without finding out more. I tried to explain, but she refused to listen to me. I tried to reach out to my friends for help, but none of them was willing to help me. Some of them even cursed at me. I was shocked and speechless to have such fake friends. I had no choice but to wait for hope to arrive. One day, a new neighbor moved in. Her name was Mrs. Thompson. She was a kind-hearted person. Days turned into weeks, and I became good friends with her. Feeling lost and alone, I confided in my neighbor, Mrs. Thompson, a kind-hearted woman who had always been supportive. Mrs. Thompson was outraged by the college's decision and decided to take action. She reached out to a local women's rights organization and the media, bringing attention to my plight. The story gained traction, and soon, there was a public outcry against the college's unfair treatment of me. Under pressure, the college administration was forced to reconsider their policies. The principal, who had turned a blind eye to my situation, was held accountable and eventually replaced. With the support of Mrs. Thompson and the community, I was able to re-enroll in college. I continued my studies while preparing for the arrival of my baby. It wasn't easy, but my determination and the support of those around me helped me persevere. I became an advocate for young mothers in education, ensuring that no one else would have to go through what I did. One day, the father of my child returned home, and it was my stepfather. Yes, it was him, his fault. He got me pregnant with his child. My stepfather came home drunk and had a heated argument with my mom. My stepfather never told my mom about what he did to me. Later that night, after my stepfather went to bed, my mom was in the kitchen. I talked to her, and I told her about the father of the child, but she did not believe me. I was upset and didn't know what to do. Tears were streaming down my face, and I went back to my room. When I was about to sleep, my stepfather came into my room quietly. He warned me not to make any noise. I was terrified and screamed as loud as I could. The more I screamed, the more my stepfather got mad, and then he came closer, trying to assault me. His strong hands pressed down my hands, and I was getting weaker, but I did not stop screaming, hoping someone would come to save me. Then my mom rushed into my room, begging him to stop, but he did not listen. When he got close to mom and was about to hit her, suddenly 2 policemen rushed in and arrested my stepfather. Then, I saw Mrs. Thompson was there. She said she had called the police. I was so glad to see her, and I said thank you to her. My mom apologized to me for not believing me. My mom promised to help me take care of my baby. Months later, the baby was born. It was a boy. I went through a lot of hardship to raise him, but with the support of my mom and Mrs. Thompson, we successfully raised a child with a bright future. My story is one of resilience and the power of community support. Even in the face of adversity, I found a way to continue pursuing my dreams and make a difference for others.